Hello, historians. Okay, so we are going to be analyzing a text, and as we're doing that, we are trying to find evidence, multiple pieces of evidence, to support that analysis. So the question that I've been asked is at the bottom, highlighted in yellow. It's which pieces of evidence best represent the thoughtfulness of Prometheus? So my first question is really, where do I see evidence of what I'm being asked? So as I'm reading, I am trying to answer that question of where do I have evidence of him being a thoughtful person? All right, here we go. Many years ago, according to the stories told by the people of ancient Greece, there lived two brothers who were not like other men or like gods and goddesses of Mount Olympus. They were the sons of one of the Titans, who had fought against Zeus and had been sent in chains to the prison of the lower world. The name of the elder of these brothers was Prometheus. Prometheus was always thinking of the future and making things ready for what might happen tomorrow, or next week, or next year, or even in 100 years' time. Okay, so I have some evidence of him being thoughtful here. It says that he's always thinking of the future, and he's always trying to make plans. So I'm coding that with blue, and I'm going to keep reading again, trying to answer that question of where do I see evidence of what I'm asked for. The younger was called Epimetheus. Epimetheus was always so busy thinking of yesterday or last year or 100 years ago that he never worried at all about what might come to pass in the future. Prometheus did not want to live amongst the clouds on Mount Olympus. He was too busy for that. While the gods were spending their time in idleness, drinking nectar and eating ambrosia, he was planning how to make the world wiser and better than it had ever been before. Okay, so this entire paragraph talks about Prometheus. However, only the last sentence is really something that could relate to him being thoughtful, because it says that, he's the one that's thinking of how and making plans for how to make the world better while everyone else is enjoying their time. So instead of living on Olympus, Prometheus went out amongst men to live with them and help them, and he quickly noticed that they were no longer happy as they had been during the golden days when Kronos the Titan was king. He found them living in caves and in holes of the earth, shivering with the cold because there was no fire, dying of starvation, hunted by wild beasts and by one another, the most miserable of all living creatures. If they only had fire, said Prometheus to himself, they could at least be warm and cook their food, and after a while they could learn to make tools and build themselves houses. Without fire, they are worse off than beasts. Okay, so another way of interpreting him being thoughtful is it's like an act of kindness. And so it seems here at the bottom that he's kind of really thinking about and trying to empathize with the humans, and it sounds like he's going to try and help them. He views them as miserable. So now I'm on to my second thinking step, which is which pieces of the evidence that I've coded relate the most to my analysis. So if I were to write an answer to prove that he is a thoughtful person, I'm now trying to do the process of elimination to see if there's any pieces of evidence I coded that really aren't that strong that I wouldn't want to include. When I do that, I'm definitely thinking that these first two pieces of evidence that I coded are my strongest examples, because the second one gives me an exact action that he takes, while the first one describes his character, and in his character it says that he is always thinking. So then my last thinking step is there enough evidence for me to fully support my answer? So if I just used these two top pieces of evidence, would I be able to fully explain that in writing and really have a deep analysis? And if I don't have enough, then I know that I need to go back to my text and find some more pieces so that my analysis is strong.